Sensex today hit a new record of 40,327 points, surpassing its previous record of 40,312.07 points hit in the month of July. So last day of the month, October 31st, has been fantastic. It's been a super rally and with a new record on the Sensex. It's also the last, close FNO expiry today, and probably we are seeing some short covering. So the Sensex at a new record, and largely this record is on account of some heavyweight stock, and particularly we want to highlight that heavyweight Reliance Industries has been hitting successive record highs, which is pushing the Sensex higher. Remember, Reliance has a heavy weightage in the Sensex, and every time Reliance Industries goes up, it pushes the Sensex higher. So really today the Sensex hit a new high, and it is largely to do with the substantial gain we are seeing in the stock of Reliance on a sustained basis for the last 1 week to 10 days. Along with Reliance, another stock that has contributed to this record high of the Sensex is the stock of ICICI Bank. That again is at a record high, and both these stocks together have probably propelled the Sensex to this 40,327 points, which is a new record on the Sensex. Now, if you see the last couple of days, an interesting trend has emerged, and that is the trend of FPIs beginning to buy again. So foreign portfolio investors are now beginning to buy Indian stocks all over again. Yesterday there was buying by foreign portfolio investors in excess of 3,000 crores. So probably they are buying into stocks, and this is what is also propelling the index. Now, why are foreign portfolio investors buying so heavily into Indian stocks for the last couple of days? It has largely to do with the US Federal Reserve. Yesterday, the US Federal Reserve cut interest rates again, pushing interest rates lower. Now, what happens is when interest rates fall lower, the central banks start cutting interest rates, people tend to move their money from debt into equities, and this is what is happening. So, a lot of money is getting pumped into equity shares across the globe. Remember, in the US markets also overnight we have had very strong closing. The S&P 500 is now at a record high. So clearly it has largely to do with what the Fed has done yesterday of cutting interest rates, which also pushed the S&P 500 higher, and we saw follow-up buying is likely today as the S&P, the futures are pointing, sorry, not the S&P, but the Dow futures are pointing higher. So we might see some follow-up buying in the US markets, which is pushing the Indian benchmark indices higher. Will this rally sustain? We think it could sustain for another week or so. Corporate results have been not as bad as was expected, and the valuations, of course, are not very cheap. So really, while valuations are not really cheap, the world is gush with liquidity, and liquidity will find its way into stocks. So it could probably, the foreign portfolio investment buying could continue for the next 1 week, 10 days, we don't know, and this could clearly propel the indices higher. Clearly there is a momentum right now, and we don't foresee the markets declining, at least in the near future. So the upward momentum will continue. Every decline will lead to a further rally would probably lead to buying at lower levels and a further rally in stocks. Today was the fifth consecutive day the Indian markets are trading higher, and we think after 4 days, today might be the fifth day wherein the Sensex and the Nifty close higher. So it's strong gains. It doesn't make sense to even book profits because it looks like the momentum will continue for the next few days at least. So hold on to your positions. There's you could see the markets clearly headed higher from here.